We got another episode. So tell everybody, jump on in. Come on in. Come on over. Yeah, let's go. No Sleep Nation, baby. We're live at Law Nation Studios from yours truly. Yeah. Come on, Cowboy Nation. I know you guys understand the grind. I'm really going to be grinding. I got to get out of this number. I love it that we're here, but I just don't like the number. Appreciate everybody for helping me get to 66,000 on the YouTube. Let's grind. Hey, oh, we got to get up out of this number. So tell our Shaniqua, Pookie, Ray Ray and them, Law is trying to get out of this number. Yeah, come on. With the help of you all, I know. We're going to cruise through this one, right? We're going to cruise through this one. Troy Aikman is talking. We're going to listen to Troy. I got a interview by Cedric Wilson, CeeDee Lamb that's been loaded up in the queue. Shout out to everybody. Brian Broadus, he got his evaluations of the Minnesota Vikings game. Shout out to 105.3, The Fan is there. We're going to be talking about that too. Phone lines may be open today, right? Or tonight. Dare I say. I see you. Jameson. Not Winston. I see you in the chat though. Yeah. Jerry. Come on, Jerry.
I want me some glory hole.
Come on. Happy birthday to everybody whose birthday is this month. And the preceding months, right? Come on. Yeah. Come on. Hey. Oh. Come on. Ain't no party like a cowboy party. Yeah. Come on. Let's go. Let's get it. Yeah. No premature celebratories. Y'all saw I messed up the word celebratories. But it is what it is. Let's go. Turn me up. Celebratories. Appreciate everybody, man. And that is how you do live content. When you stumble, you keep running. Don't look back. You'll turn into a pillar of salt. Trust me, I know. And it'll take you a minute to try to correct things, but you can't. You just got to keep rolling with it. And that's advice from me to you, your mama, and your cousin too. But appreciate each and every last one of you all. See, I'm stumbling. Maybe I'm nervous. Ooh, I'm nervous. And I never really put these two guys shoulder to shoulder like this. So that could be the reasoning why, right? You know, you got one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time with the Dallas Cowboys, and you got another one that's heading that way. If you look at the illustration there, that beautiful photo I put up there that I crafted up right there for you all. Shout out to the Photoshop Law. And there's never been a quarterback. You know, people like those crazy sayings, you know, those odd sayings. There's never been a quarterback to win a Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys that wore an odd number, by the way. Ain't that something? There could be something right there, right? 12 won a Super Bowl, right? 8 won a Super Bowl, and it will make it just right for 4 to win a Super Bowl, right? That will work out, right? Ain't this right, Natasha? I see you in the chat. Appreciate you. Shout out to you, Blue Silver. Thank you, Kenny, for jumping in. Thank everybody. Let me see if my power still works tonight. It works, baby. Yeah, lead forward. I can't. All right, so Troy, he goes on to 1310 the ticket, and let me put their logo up right quick. And he speaks on a weekly podcast there. And he was talking about the Dallas Cowboys and everything that goes with the Cowboys. And let's do this right now. Let's give a round of applause to Troy. It's objective analysis, so for those who want him to say all glowing things, just pump the brakes. He's going to do that, but he got to keep his day job. So let's listen in to Troy Aikman on 1310 The Ticket, and give me a thumbs up if you guys are able to hear.
A visit with Troy Aikman, the Cowboys Hall of Famer, joining us here on The Ticket. All right, let's talk a little football. The Cowboys, after the off week, they get the Minnesota Vikings. Over the years, we've talked to you a lot about Kirk Cousins because the Cowboys were facing him twice a year when he was in Washington, and they seem to face him every year now in Minnesota. He's got two great receivers to throw to. This Minnesota offense, especially with Cook back, looks like they can be a very dangerous unit, yet this team is 3-3. What do you think of this opponent for Dallas?
Well, I've always liked Kirk. You're right. I like what they do offensively. I love watching him with the passing game and the things that they do off of their play action. Cook, as you mentioned, he's terrific. Adam Thielen, I think the world of. And so they've got some good weapons and things that they can do on the offensive side of the ball. They'd always been known, as we know, on the defense and what Zim had been able to do there. They've just had some problems here over the last year and a half, and they've given up yards, they've given up points, and in a lot of ways that's kind of been what's hurt them the last couple of seasons. But yeah, I think it's not an easy team to go play against. Not that anybody is, but I do like this team, and I know that they've kind of got their backs against the wall a little bit, as you mentioned, at 3-3. They're a couple games back, depending on whatever happens in our game on Thursday night with the Packers. But they're kind of in the mix of it, so there's a little bit of pressure on them to kind of get it going. But should be a good game. I obviously think Dallas is the better team, but looking forward to that one.
So that's Troy Aikman, and shout out to Natasha, says into the thick of it. Yeah, we are into the thick of it right now. Cowboy Nation, and it's one of those things where we can say, okay, yeah, was it Kirk Cousins or Matthew Stafford that really admired Troy Aikman? I keep on getting those two mixed up with the Troy Aikman angle. And I know Matt Castle. I know Matt Castle was one of those guys that really looked up to Troy Aikman. And just because you look up to a quarterback doesn't mean that you're going to play like that quarterback. But I could be right with Kirk Cousins. And I believe that's why he wore the number 8 when he wore it over there in Washington land. But neither here nor there. I think that Troy Aikman is right with his assessment. Kirk Cousins can't throw the ball around. Now, his decisions sometimes get him in trouble. When you look at the tape, he try to force things, especially on third down. They're one of the worst teams on third down offense, by the way. So if we can put the pressure to them, make it third and long, baby, it's going to be a long night for the Vikings. But they are able to get the ball down the field if they feeling themselves, especially with the wide receivers. That Kirk Cousins, he'll close his eyes and throw the ball deep. So we got to be mindful of that. We got to keep our guys deep. And if we give him the underneath and he refuses to take it, man, it's going to be a good game for us.
You know, these challenges that Dallas is up against, and you mentioned the Vikings certainly capable of putting points up on the board. Dallas should be able to answer that. But, you know, they're 24th in red zone offense. If they ever get really efficient in the offense, how many points a week they're going to score?
Yeah, and that's why I haven't. I've said it a little bit on our broadcast, and I just, you know, when I came out with my ratings, and I've talked about them on this show a few times. It was back when I retired. I guess in 2001 is when I came up with them. So they haven't really gotten much traction. Here we are 20 years later, and nobody's really talking.
Oh, no, they're referred to. We see them in print all the time.
But I do think that there are coaches that swear by him. I know Lovie Smith, when he was with the Bears, those were the only things that he would look at as far as how teams were ranked, and he appreciated how it was, and I think most coaches do. But now more so than ever, I really do feel, whether it's my formula or some other formula, they've got to come up with another way to rank these offenses. I mean, yards, people are moving the football for the most part, but that's not where it is. It's what got me going down this path is when you're talking about red zone, that teams are moving the ball, but if they're not coming away with touchdowns when they get into the red zone more times than not, then the defense essentially has done their job. And I still think that we look at yards given up, but if a defense is not letting people in the end zone, then they deserve a lot of credit for that, rather than a 30th ranking or a last place ranking. And I think the same holds true for offenses, that there's a lot of things that come down to winning football, and yards is not extremely high on that list. So I'm hopeful that the league will address it at some point. They probably won't. The league's usually about 30 years behind everything. So,
All right, so that's Troy Aikman. Thoughts on the Cowboys. We ranked 24th in red zone, and of course we ranked number 1 in total offense because of the yards gainage, and that's been the red zone booger for us, been a serious problem. One can argue that Cowboys are able to circumvent it because we are given a lot of chances by averaging 460 yards. How can we improve this red zone, Cowboy Nation? What can we do? 24th. So there's 23 other teams that's doing a better job than us as it relates to efficient level. When we get into the red zone, that's a lot of teams. And one can argue, and then there should be a case study done on teams that win the Super Bowl, where they're ranked at in red zone efficient levels. Now, I'm not finna bury Kellen Moore with this red zone stuff, but what I can say is there's not a complete team in October, nor there's a complete team in necessarily November. So you should always try to work and better your craft, right? You should always look to see, okay, how can I become better? All right, Thomas Leach says, hey, reduce penalties. Oscar is saying, hey, throw out some play actions. I think Burn Bar says, hey, give some beers, cheers, that probably will help, But we need to improve on that because good teams going to capitalize on that, right? So my thing is, even if it's a bread and butter play, a play that you go to on a consistent level and it works, continue to do that until the opposing team stop it. That's what I would figure out. I believe, was it the Chargers game? I forgot who scored. Was it Tony Pollard or Ezekiel Elliott? I look at that play. Continue to do that. Put Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott in that red zone situation. It forces teams to say, okay, dog, we got principles already put in place to stop Ezekiel Elliott. Huh? So let's continue to figure out better packages. Moving the ball is okay. 460 yards a game. That's a lot, baby. And like the person on 1310 the ticket said, man, can you imagine if they improve on red zone efficiency level? Woo! Let's rewind. We got time. Y'all okay? Y'all got somewhere to go? Anybody got somewhere to go? We got time. We can rewind, right? Let's rewind. If that's okay with you guys.
30th ranking or a last place ranking, and I think the same holds true for offenses, that there's a lot of things that come down to winning football, and yards is not extremely high on that list. So I'm hopeful that the league will address it at some point. They probably won't. The league's usually about 30 years behind everything. So, we'll see. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if they can, they move the ball, and then it comes down. You got to come away with touchdowns. And every time, I said it back when I was playing. I felt like every time we had to settle for a field goal in the red zone, we were one step closer to losing the football game. It allows weaker teams to stay in games, and then games too often come down to a play here, a play there. If you had cashed in and been able to score touchdowns earlier in the game would essentially have been over by the time you got to the fourth quarter.
Ooh, hey, so many people after some games, and this is a 3-time Super Bowl champion winner, telling us this, right? So he's not lying to kick it, Cowboy Nation. He's definitely not lying to kick it. So many times I've read comments to say, hey man, Cowboys won, but we played around with our food too much. We left too much meat on the bones. We kicked field goals when we should have been scoring, or we passed an interception or fumbled the ball, and we let them hang around too long, right? I don't want us to let the Vikings hang around too long, right? They got a guy that can run the rock, Cook. He's no one to sneeze at. Oh, of course. When Kirk Cousins is hot, he's hot. You like that? So listen to what Troy had to say. Let's rewind that thing again. Y'all okay? Y'all got nothing but time.
We'll see. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if they move the ball, and then it comes down, you got to come away with touchdowns. And every time, I said it back when I was playing. I felt like every time we had to settle for a field goal in the red zone, we were one step closer to losing the football game. It allows weaker teams to stay in games, and then games too often come down to a play here, a play there. If you had cashed in and been able to score touchdowns earlier in the game would essentially have been over by the time you got to the fourth quarter.
Facts.
That topic came up last night. Last segment, we were talking about the Mannings megacast, and they had Tom Brady on, and one of the teams on the game last night got into the red zone. So you had 3 quarterbacks talking about what they liked and didn't like to run in the red zone. And every game is different depending on the defense you're going up against or your offensive personnel. But when you got into the red zone as a player, what did you like to run? What was most effective, and how much of that translates to today's game?
Well, whether I liked it or didn't like it, we pretty much just turned and handed it to Emmett. So that was kind of our formula. That's why he had 25 touchdowns or whatever it was one year. We didn't throw the ball a whole lot down in the red zone. Now we would when we got inside the 20. But for the most part, we were so good running the ball that we were able to, when we got inside the 5 or whatever, we handed it to Emmett, and if he would typically score, and if he didn't, we'd hand it to him on second down, and then he would score.
Offensive line. You there? You got those big boys, Nate Newton, Big Nate, even Larry Allen for a spell. Boy, you had those big boys. Stepnowski, you had some big, Moose. Hey, the linebacker at that point would have been like, we don't want nothing to do with this big old boy shooting through there. You know how this thing goes, Cowboy Nation. And we saw a little bit of it, right? Connor McGovern, big 66. Big E, yeah. Sugar Daddy 1. You had Big E up.
And I know that Favre and Steve Young with the 49ers and the Packers, those were the 2 teams that were really throwing the ball a lot down in the red zone. A lot of the play action stuff on early downs, and that's why those guys threw for a lot of touchdowns. And the rest of us quarterbacks used to kind of talk about it when we'd get together and think how fortunate those guys were that they had coaches that allowed them to do that. Now nobody runs the ball. It could be first and goal on the 1, and teams are in shotgun and they're still throwing the ball. So that was kind of our approach, which worked. Now, what I don't like is I'm not real crazy about the goal line fades. I just, it just to me seems like, kind of a give up play. And when you don't have anything else to run, then just try to throw a goal line fade. They're not easy to throw. and the closer you get to the goal line, the harder they become, unless you just got a receiver that's just so much more physically dominant than the corner who's covering them, which is rarely the case. We played the Rams back in '91 and had Irvin, of course, and then Darrell Henley, who was a college teammate of mine, was much smaller than Irvin. So we would match Michael up with Darrell, and it literally was like alley-oop throwing it up to Shaq. I mean, and I think Irvin had 3 touchdowns that day, just going up over the top of it. I mean, it was like, this is the design that we have for our play. That was, we had a different offensive coordinator at the time, but it worked, and that was one of the few times. But down there, everything happened so much faster. I like the little quick guys in the slots that can create separation in short spaces. Those are the guys who are really helpful down there in the goal line, unless you're working the back line with taller receivers that are able to go up and make plays over the defenders.
Troy Aikman with us here on the ticket. As I mentioned, you do that awesome matchup on Thursday night, Packers and Cardinals, as the Cowboys have this big lead in the NFC East. In the NFC, you've got 5 teams now. Arizona undefeated, 4 other teams with 1 loss. What an interesting battle this is going to be as the regular season plays out and shaping up to be an incredible postseason.
Well, it is. I mean, I think it's pretty good. And here we are early. And this game, in a lot of ways, kind of feels like a playoff game to me anyway, as we go into it on Thursday. And I think as good as Green Bay's been, they've won 6 in a row as well after losing week 1 to Tampa. But New Orleans beat
New Orleans on opening, by 35,
so now you've got Green Bay, who's lost once to New Orleans. If they were to lose this one to Arizona, it's 2 losses, but those losses are fairly significant. It's a little bit like Dallas at 6-1, and then Dallas, what are they, 5-1?
5-1 now.
Yeah, we could be 6-1.
Having lost week 1 to Tampa, that's a fairly significant deal. And so, you start looking at who you lost those games to and how all that shakes out. And it's I know last year it was, and this year again with just one team getting the bye and how all that works. It really complicates them.
Hey, so when you talk about that, who y'all rooting for then? Y'all got to be rooting for Green Bay at this point, even though they're down a man, because I'm looking at it like I'm trying to get a home field advantage, right? So I'm just telling you guys the real. We got to win every game we can, but at this point, I hate to say this, I got to root for Green Bay, because if they can put an L on the Arizona, and then by the time, if we continue to do our thing, I'm not looking beyond this Vikings game. Don't get it twisted, Cowboy Nation. But y'all know what I want. I want this team to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. I want people to understand that if you're trying to get to the Super Bowl, you got to come through Arlington, stadium. In the words of Jerry Wayne, stadium. You got to come through us. In order for us to do that, we have to have the 1 L on our team from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we rooting like holy hell for Tampa Bay to lose the game, so we can have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And I'm really, 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 really trusting this particular coaching staff juxtaposed to the previous administration as it relates to having that bye week. I want to see if you guys agreeing with me, who's all in agreement. You think David Lee says that Oscar says you never root for Green Bay Law. I know, but just for this one time, I need for somebody to let Arizona Cardinals catch that L. I just need it. Unless, I feel you. Unless you think we can go on this run right quick. You think we can go on this little rendezvous. We can go on this run, and we will give them that L. That could work too. I feel you, because I hate the Green Bay, and I hate to root for that terrible green and mustard. Maybe I could just say, okay, maybe Jalen. Maybe I could just find players on the team and have a fantasy type of rooting, Let's see. what you guys are thinking. Cam said, I think we lose. Oh, no, Cam. No, Cam. Oh, Cam. Dallas will give Arizona that 1L. Oh, I see you, lady. Washington. Okay. So you think that, okay, all right, so we don't have to root for. Okay, I see where y'all coming now. I see where y'all going with it. So root for the Chiefs to lose, the Kansas City Chiefs, not the Kansas City Chiefs, but the Chiefs hits to lose, the Green Bay Packers. And don't worry about it. Let the Arizona Cardinals be 8-0, and by the time they get to us or what have you, we'll give them that L. I like y'all thinking.
And it puts a lot more emphasis on these games in the regular season. So I know Arizona, it seems anyway, before I started getting ready for this game, it seemed like Arizona was a team that, okay, yeah, they're undefeated, but not a lot of people buying in because they just don't really know a lot that much about Arizona. They haven't seen them. And then when they lose a game, I think people will kind of figure out, oh, okay, well, now it's Dallas and it's Tampa and it's Green Bay and it's these teams with 1 losses, and then nobody continues to talk about Arizona. But this team's really good. I mean, they've got a lot of weapons on offense. Their defense, I like the way they play. They're flying around. So I think a lot of people on Thursday night, for those that haven't had a chance to see the Cardinals play this year, I think are going to be impressed with what they see. And if they're able to get through this game against a good opponent in Green Bay that's feeling good, it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out at the end. But yeah, it's quite a race right now to see who's going to get that first bye and only bye once we get into the postseason, and it's still early in the year.
After all their drama in the offseason about Rodgers, whether he'd retire, come back, be traded, are you surprised that they're on this 6-game win streak, or should we not be surprised by anything Rodgers does?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think they're really well coached. I think Matt LaFleur is really good, and then of course Aaron Rodgers is really good, and so you just knew he was going to continue to do what he's done. They've had guys in and out of the lineup. They've had injuries, but he's been upright and they've won. And I was thinking about it that, and we know this and we talk about it, but in basketball you bring in a LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and these type guys, and they are able to take teams to championships, and then you just kind of fill in the pieces around them with the other 4 guys. In football, it's never been that way. It's always been the ultimate team sport, but I've always felt that football has been leaning more towards basketball in that the games come down to the last 5 minutes. It doesn't seem to really matter a whole lot what happens early in games. It comes down to the very end and who's able to make the plays to win. But I think it's even gone a step further to where now if you have a great quarterback, it's a little bit like basketball, that guy is just able to make you really, really competitive. And so if you've got a guy who's really good, then you've got a chance to have a great team for a long period of time. And if you don't, then you're going to struggle. I mean, it doesn't matter what else you have around them. I watched that game last night, and both teams, obviously a little bit challenged at quarterback, and both coaches trying to coach around some of the inefficiencies at the quarterback position. Whereas if you had Rodgers or you had Breeze playing this year, that you're calling things a little bit differently, and that game looks a lot different. So I think that's, going back to Dallas, that for Dak, I think there were questions with people that say, well, is Dak really one of the top quarterbacks? Should we really pay him that much money? I mean, that's been kind of the debate, I think, publicly, and maybe even within the Cowboys organization, as far as, okay, we think he's really good, but is he one of these guys who's a difference maker? And I think he's proven that. So Dallas is fortunate to have him, and they're going to have him for a long time. And these teams that have guys like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and so forth, Kyler Murray now, the way he's been able to do things, it's been fun to watch.
See, I watched that game last night.
So, good observation by Troy. And I believe when you have this star-studded quarterback, the other teams, like the free agency, I believe that's when you really get that 1 or 2 free agent guys that say, okay, I'm going to play with this guy. This is a quarterback-driven league now, and the rules are shifted and bent toward the quarterback anyhow. And we're seeing that's what Tom Brady did, right? When he went to Tampa, all of the free agency said, hey, I'm coming to Tampa as well. When we see Matthew Stafford, I'm not saying that he is going to take that team to the Super Bowl, but you see that other things open up for them as far as free agency. And, of course, the course of the game is a whole lot better. And now we're seeing it with Dak Prescott, like what Troy said. We're going to have Dak Prescott for a long time. And being able to be that person to elevate everybody on your team goes a long way. Think about this. Majority of the team was saying last year, you flip out and you change the quarterback. Now you start averaging 30 to 32, 33 points, 460 yards. Now, there are, with this particular team, still some inefficiencies that we will have to improve and overcome. But collectively speaking, this team is doing a great job. Now, to put Kyler Murray in that sentence already, this is his, second year now, right? Cowboy Nation, or third year? Kyler Murray, y'all help me out. He's doing a good job, but there are some things that I believe that coaching staff and the defense is masking, and the weapons that they got, my goodness, is masking some of those things. And I'm not saying he's sus or anything. It's his second year, right? Second year, second season. So he's doing good for his second season. But there are still some things to say, hey, wait a minute, But he's getting it on. Let's go.
Felt bad for the quarterbacks. It was a wet ball. And I always feel for quarterbacks who have to try to throw the wet ball.
Yeah, you too, huh? Yeah,
They shanking it.
We have these production meetings, and someone will say, "Hey, we forgot to ask because we had a rainy day and a rainy night in Cleveland. Hey, we forgot to ask this quarterback, how he likes throwing a wet ball." And I said, "Well, nobody really likes throwing a wet ball. I'm the only quarterback, maybe in the history of football, that just simply can't throw a wet football."
Okay.
Every other quarterback, when I ask them, hey, so how do you handle a wet ball? They look at me like I'm a little crazy. They say, well, it's not ideal, but it's fine. Because I could not throw a wet ball to save my life. It was just not even close.
It worked out pretty well for you in the end, though.
I didn't have many rainy days. I didn't have many rainy games I had to play in, and the worst one we had was in Philadelphia. And that's when Emmett set the franchise rushing record. It was crazy because the Eagles played coverage for whatever reason.
Right,
I don't know why. I don't know what they were watching, but they continued to play coverage, and thankfully they did because we continued to run the ball and won the game, and Emmett rushed for a whole lot of yards.
Awesome. As always, thanks, Troy. Have a good weekend.
Okay, guys, thanks.
Appreciate Troy Aikman. Cam. McNeil says, I love your show, but our defense is iffy to me. We got a defense that I would think that it would be next year until we stay at that dominant level of rank 4, rank 5. We good in categories, though. We getting turnovers, which is a great thing. And I would rather have the turnover style of defense just opposed to a defense just getting a lot of sacks. But I would tell you this. Just wait. We made a revamp. We got a lot of young guys on defense, by the way. We drafted – how many guys we drafted for defense? And appreciate everybody of letting me know that Kyler Murray this is his third year. Normally quarterbacks turn a corner in their fourth year, so he's above average. So Kyler Murray is a damn good quarterback, by the way, if that's the case, if it's his third year and he's doing those things. So shout out to him. But I just go back to this defense. We can see the improvements, and I would like this defense to do a little bit better in certain categories. And we're not even at full strength, right? But I look at this defense, just like we argued all offseason, if we can just be in the top 10. or if we can just be in the top if we can just be average, then this team will win more games. And lo and behold, Dak Prescott healthy, defense average. And I'm not saying average all across the board. We got playmakers now. We never had playmakers before. We got people that's fighting, clawing to the ball, a philosophy that's being introduced to this team. And hear me out. Hear me out, Cowboy Nation. Dan Quinn just got his hands on this defense, so you can only imagine down the line. Bob Clayton says, love the show. Will Gallup play this Sunday? I don't know. I'll know more by Friday, though. Washington says the Cowboys realized that they had with Dak. I hate to say it, but him getting hurt made Jerry realize it. Yeah. Made Rain Dakota very valuable, because now you can see, okay, with the growth aspect of Dak Prescott. And think about it. At one point in time, people was like, and I was banging on the table. Y'all can go all the way back to my earliest videos. I said, man, go ahead and pay Dak Prescott $28 million. Can you close your eyes and imagine the robbery we would have had if we were to pay Dak Prescott $28 million, and that one or two players that we talking about getting on the defense, we no problem. Would be no problem. But the Cowboys continue to say, okay, let's wait. And Stephen Jones and Jerry would tell you guys, they lost out on that bet. They lost out on that deal. They lost out on everything with that. So it is what it is, but how the salary cap is working and how everything is going, we have enough remunerations to keep things afloat. We do. And your players coming back. This is Oscar. Yeah, speaking of that, let's listen in to my guy, Lamb. Let me know if y'all can hear this. Sounded
really
fake to me.
no difference. Kind of being wary of it. Keeping an eye out, making sure everything, is on schedule for him to play on Sunday. Regular, same Dak. Very good. He looks great. In and out his, drops. But, I don't know the restrictions on him or what's going on, but, to me, he looks perfectly fine.
Now, I can't hear when they ask him the question, but I can hear his answer, so that could be audio on their end.
It crossed my mind quite a bit, just because, obviously that was one of my, most memorable catches, and, that I'm going to take that one to the grave, and I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for this weekend, and I'm excited to see what we're going to do. Yeah, no, we gotta. We cool. We talk it up a little bit on Instagram every now and then, but no, he's a great player. A great receiver. I watch him just about as much as I watch any other receiver. I like his game. I like the way he, moves with the ball after the catch, his routes. Very phenomenal receiver.
When you look at that draft class, there's 5 very talented guys that are clearly near the top in production. How much does that drive you guys? Like, you want to be the best of the class? Does he want to be the best of the class?
I'm sure he wants to be the best for sure, and likewise, I definitely want to be considered the best in the class, and I feel like that's what kind of keeps us going, and the production you see throughout week in and week out is just off the love of the game and how much we're trying to compete and make a name for ourselves. So.
Back to that catch real quick. What part of it impressed you most? I think on the outside it kind of looked like how you adjusted in the air, but what part did you think stood out most?
Definitely the adjustment, but I feel like the finish was probably the most, impressive to me, just because I couldn't get my right hand really on it, and it looked like I caught it with 2, but I feel like I really caught it with 1 initially, and that was my left hand. And, that was probably the most shocking moment of the catch. Yeah, kind of in a sense, yeah. Andy threw it to the right, top the corner of the end zone, and I kind of ran a little flat, and the adjustment was harder, so it's kind of how it goes.
Appreciate you, Brian.
Personally, I feel like I can compete with the best of them at a young, like my rookie year, but that definitely was a confidence booster. I felt good after the catch, just being able to make plays like that again. It felt good.
No doubt.
Not really. Kind of not trying to dwell on it too much. Obviously, I'm proud of the accomplishments and the plays that I'm making, but just always want to keep my head forward and stay positive.
What was the across the hall experience like earlier this week? What were some of the tips you got from defensive coaches?
It was actually very, crucial to us just because to see what I'm kind of getting another point of view of us and what others see of us and what others think of us. And just talking to our DB coaches, it kind of gave us a hint or it helped me with different types of mannerisms that I've been doing that kind of, that show up a lot. And, just body language is just a lot of things that you from a different point of view, you don't really see. So overall, it was good.
When y'all look at your red zone work, what stands out on your self-scout about your red zone as a team and how can y'all improve?
Definitely can improve. Obviously, by scoring 7 instead of 3, if any.
Facts.
And, just making routine plays, getting gritty when needed, playing hardball, and just coming out, like I said, just getting in the end zone.
Their team's back out there. What's it like?
Smiles. My man been smiling since he got back on the field. And it's contagious. We love him for it, and can't wait to see him out there making plays again.
How do you look?
He looks good. Obviously a bit slow coming from the calves, situation, but he'll be back in no time. I'm not worried about it.
CeeDee Lamb is ruthless around there. He said, hey, Gallup look good out there. He's a little slow coming back from the calf injury, but he'll be back out there soon. So if he's a little slow now, I presume that he won't be playing this weekend. If that's his own contemporary evaluations of his own brethren out there, I don't think that they'll usher Michael Gallup out there against the Vikings. So maybe he's a week out. I wouldn't want to put, hey, he's a little slow guy out there. I would continue to give that to Cedric Wilson.
It's tough. It's like you can't really prepare for football until you actually get here and kind of practice. So it's always rough first couple of days, if you will. But it's definitely the foundation that we're trying to stand, and we got to get back on our high horse and get back to work.
How do you spend your bye week?
Working with my family, just moving around. That's it.
You ready to go?
His ability to pretty much everything. He checks all boxes. He can run great routes. He can catch the ball at contested catches. Great route running yards after the catch. I feel like I see a lot of a resemblance in my game and his, and vice versa, if you will. But he's a great receiver.
Y'all rocking with me.
When you're planning this week in practice, are you of the mindset that Jack will do what he can do, but he's going to be playing on Sunday, or what's it like for y'all as receivers in terms of your game plan?
For our game plan, Dak's going to be out there. We're playing for him to be out there Sunday, and even if he's not, we're prepared for whoever's up next. But I'm just about 90% sure that he's going to be out there, just going out there ready to work, control what we can control, and just be in attack mode. That's it.
He'll ready to go the whole time. He'll rocking. I say, man, Gallup don't tell no lies, though. Not Gallup, I'm sorry. Lamb don't tell no lies, man. I don't think he can lie. He's just a guy that just going to tell you the straight up truth. Just like he snatched that phone from his girl. Like, no, you can't have my phone. No, you can't go through my phone. He said he feels that Dak Prescott is at 90%, and this is Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday, they got another, things that they had to go through. And Thursday will be the big test because, have you ever practiced and then the next day you will see whether or not a person, recovered from the next, from practice. So we will see, and I believe – if he got the Mississippi mud like I think, Lord, he lies. No, he don't lie. He tell you the god-awful truth. But I think that tomorrow will be 95, and then Friday he was like, yeah, 100% Dak plan. But it is what it is at this point. Let's listen in to Brian Broaddus report right quick, and then we'll kick open the other things for this episode. I really appreciate each and every last one of you all. I really do. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Cowboy Nation, bear with me.
7 game. I was wondering why so low scoring. What were the problems? Cleveland had the ball twice inside the 12-yard line and 1 4th down. Went for it both times. Didn't kick field goals. Went for it and got stopped. Or they could have put some more points on the board, but they failed to do that. What I'm interested to do with the Vikings is I think defensively for the Cowboys, it is going to be what direction do you want to go as far as trying to defend the run, but make sure that Kirk Cousins in his play-action game, a lot of snaps from underneath center. In the games that I was able to watch, the shotgun stuff was all kind of on 3rd downs. But his early downs are going to be underneath center. It's going to be play-action. I wonder if the Cowboys, in what direction that they might go with, if it's, okay, do you take Diggs and put him on Justin Jefferson, or do you take him and put him on Adam Thielen? And I'm kind of at that point right now where I feel like you can't just have him travel with one guy. I kind of feel like you're going to have to mix this up. Now, what's
the benefit of that?
Well, I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and maybe disrupt Kirk Cousins and how he might want to deliver the ball, maybe on certain down and distances. I think maybe early downs you might want to go with Jefferson, and on 1st and 2nd down, and then on 3rd downs I think maybe you want to go with Thielen and try and shut him down in this game, because I was looking for a pattern. I was looking for a way. Okay, when this gets going, when they get into those 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 situations, where's Cousins going with the football? And I kind of feel like, though, that he goes towards Adam Thielen a little bit more. Jefferson makes some 3rd down catches, don't get me wrong, but I kind of felt like watching the tape that Thielen was a guy that he kind of targeted a little bit more in those situations. So I'm not going to let him get a read on me just saying, okay, I'm going to walk with Justin Jefferson this whole time. And then, I think this is going to be one of those games you're going to have to find a way to mix some things up and maybe make it a little bit uncomfortable for him as far as who he wants to throw the ball to. Now, he might just say, listen, I'm going to stay away from Diggs regardless. My guy, either Thielen or Jefferson. They also have this guy KJ Osborne that they like to get him involved as well. But the 2 primary guys are going to be Jefferson and Thielen. So I'm kind of thinking, how do I match up with them? And I'm not sure I have a great answer for that right now. But it's about Anthony Brown.
It's about getting after Cousins. That's a player right there. I don't know if he processes things the best. And then when you intimidate him a little bit, get him on edge, I don't think he's got confidence that gets him back on track.
Yeah, I think Jeff was absolutely right. Jeff had seen Minnesota play a little bit, probably some TV games and stuff like that.
You haven't called him P-word.
Yeah.
I did.
I
think I was right too, Brian.
You were.
Shout out to Jeff.
Yeah, you did call him a P-word. That's
pompous.
Pompous, yeah, exactly.
You like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that?
I think, timid would be pretty good for him too. But Jeff was right yesterday when he told you that the problems that they have are inside. It seemed to me that where Cleveland was able to attack, and then also the Carolina a little bit more, was the inside stuff. It was when pressure came through the middle, and what Cleveland did was a really good job of walking their secondary up, whether that was a safety or a corner, and then ran that through the middle. Now, when a corner, take the slot corner and try and run him and then cover over the top with the safety. So anything that you can do to disrupt him, but Jeff's right, through the middle of this offensive line, I think with Bradbury and Cleveland and those guys, I think that there's a little bit better chance of kind of throwing this guy off his game.
How well equipped do you think the Cowboys are to do that? Osa early in the year was getting a bunch of penetration, but overall I wouldn't say that you're good on the interior unless you're talking about like Micah Parsons trucking through the A-gap.
Well, let me give you guys my analysis on that. All right, so Osa is on the top of most of the rookies. I think he's like 3rd or 4th thinking more so leaning on third as it relates to pressure. He got 19 pressures, and that is very difficult to do from the interior. Just for an example, Christian Barmore, who a lot of people had high on their draft board, he only got 13 for the season. So that goes to show you, and he got an extra game too, by the way, under that. So there goes to show you that it's hard to get pressure from the interior, and Osa been giving you that. Now, the problem that I'm looking at is that, of course, Randy Gregory, when he's out there on the field, he's going to create pressure. You can't block him one-on-one. You got to chip, right? So what we were able to see, those little few spells of games that we saw our guy Parsons off the edge, he was creating pressure. Case in point, right now, he have 22 pressures. He's leading amongst all rookies in pressure off the edge. Now, what's the guy, Ariza, from the Giants? Ariza Ojulari, I think that's how you say his name, Ojulari. He's leading, I believe, all rookies in sacks with 5.5, and he primarily lined up on the edge, right? He's just an edge rusher. I come here to tell you that if Parsons every game was lying on the edge, he would shatter that record by now. He will shatter that pace. He got 3. He got 3 sacks for this season. And I calibrated, and we looked at everything, and we did the numbers. If he was to primarily play on the edge his entire time with the Cowboys, he would have been on pace for anywhere from 15 to 17 sacks. Let me repeat, 15 to 17 sacks. I'm talking about Parsons. So you got to play with this. If you're going to keep him at linebacker, I'm looking at Parsons. He's going to be a hell of a linebacker. But if you keep him at edge, he'll be a hell of an edge rusher, right? Like was it Von Miller? That's what a lot of people call it. Or what's the guy that played for the Raiders or played for the Chicago Bears? His name at the tip of my tongue. Is it Mac or what have you? But we're not that style of defense with Parsons, so they're moving him back and forward, and that's why you see some discrepancies on his defense. And one can argue that's why we're ranked 27th in the league in sacks. We're not getting there. Khalil Mack, appreciate y'all, man. Return of the Mack, baby. So we're going to have to figure that out, Cowboy Nation. Let's see. Max Crosby. No. I meant to say Khalil Mack, though, not Max Crosby. Crosby is pretty good, too, by the way, Terrence. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, I think that maybe what I would try to do is, and you mentioned this yesterday, too, this Christian Darrisaw, who is from Virginia Tech, who's finally a rookie tackle that's is making these starts. And I think what I would try to do is, you've seen, and it was especially in the Carolina game, you saw Randy Gregory on some twist stunts where you were able to attack him in the middle of the line. And I mean, maybe you run your defensive tackles out and then try and get Cleveland and Bradbury and those guys off balance. And then once they commit to being off balance, then you work your ends back to the middle of the pocket. And I kind of feel like that might be that you'll see them maybe move Darrisaw around. I mean, move him around, make him have to adjust, make Cleveland have to adjust as well, Bradbury as well. So Randy through the middle, maybe now it's about walking. We've seen last week against New England, we saw a little bit more of Curse off the edge.
Right.
Maybe you put Curse down in that position where you would normally have Keon O'Neal at that linebacker spot and then run him. Maybe you can run Parsons through the A or the B gap as well. But I think the pressure is going to have to come through the middle of the pocket. That looked like to me that gave him the most issue. This guy wants absolutely nothing to do with holding the football with pressure. He does not want to take a sack, and he will make some terrible throws, even though he hasn't turned over the ball very much this year. Only 2 interceptions this year for him. But if you can force him to he'll throw the ball, like his arm will get hit, it'll flutter, things like that. I think if you get close enough to him, you could force him to make some bad throws, especially on third down. There were a couple different times where I felt like that, okay, guy open, but pressure was too much, and he missed on that throw. And so keep an eye on attacking the middle of the pocket. How you match up on the outside, I think, is going to be key.
You wouldn't
well.
want to get hit like that if you were if you were built like him, Brian. I'll tell you that much.
Kind of.
I got a frailty. All right, so Kirk Cousins, they are like 5th or 6th in passing, right, yardage, and they are one of the leagues, NFL leagues, worst in third down offense. That's good news for us, right? That's flat out good news because our third down defense is pretty solid. You know, we do get a chance to do the 3 and outs on our side of the field, believe it or not. But here's the thing. We got to get them there. The comfort level of Cousins is play action. Play action. Lining up under center, turning his back to the defense. Oh, he still got the ball, and he throws it deep down the field. But you got to establish the running game. You do. I've heard storylines of us being a little worried for Brent Urban being out, but I come here to tell you that he only had 60 snaps anyway. And I'm not discounting his snaps, by the way. But what I'm saying is, Cowboy Nation, is let's not be too antsy about that because we got Carlos Watkins coming back, and I don't know if Tristan Hill is going to play this game, but he's looking very good in practice for what I was able to hear from the reporters today. So we got our reinforcement coming, even if we have to throw Justin Hamilton out there to stop the bleeding until, we get some of our more efficient guys back out there. That's still a good thing. And shout out to my dog, Justin Hamilton from Natchez, Mississippi.
That's the problem right there. It's amazing to me how like the big neck players can take such violent collisions and get up and be like, "Hey, that's fine."
Can they?
Most of them can.
Because Van Der Esch has a pretty big neck.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't apply to all of them, I suppose. Okay. If you got spinal stenosis, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But like Daniel Jones, right? If he's just a little bit stronger and built like a tight end or a running back, he gets up from that. But so then you take it down another full degree from Daniel Jones in terms of size and build. And that's Kirk Cousins, man. I would be terrified too to get hit. Like if you're big like Dak or Cam Newton or Ben, you're like, whatever, get out of my way. I'd take a hit.
Yeah.
That guy's, his career's on the line every time a defensive end comes at him.
You're right about that. And the ball comes out of there quickly, though. He just does not want to hold the ball with any type of time at all. Now, okay, you're going to have to deal with this Dalvin Cook. Yeah. And I feel like this is a team that plays actually with a real fullback. C.J. Ham, number 30, they put him in the backfield. They have him as a lead blocker. So now you're talking about, okay, Parsons, Van Der Esch, people on the edge, Keon O'Neal, Curse, who's ever on the outside. There's going to be a fullback coming downhill. There's going to be Dalvin Cook. Where Dalvin Cook kills you is when he bounces the ball. So Randy, the edge, let's see what happens. Golston, those guys can't get trapped down in the inside. They can't say, okay, we're going to run to chase.
Oh, I got to go get him.
You got to stay in your job. You got to, exactly. And it means keeping that outside shoulder free, making them have to stretch. The more you can make the play stretch and not let Cook get turned up the field, the better chance you have of stopping him. So these linebackers are going to have to deal with a fullback. They're going to have to deal with a back that likes to bounce it. And, he's a tough guy, but you got to get him kind of moving sideways to get him down. Don't let him get his shoulders up the field and get turned up on you. So safety play down in the alley, cornerbacks coming up, edge players, all these guys are going to have a huge factor in being able to control the running game for the Minnesota Vikings.
So it sounds like C control. I think we're going to have a lot of C gap control, and we got guys that can play that role, by the way. Think about this. Think about this, Cowboy Nation. When you talk about not just Diggs, because Diggs is Diggs, but when we talk about Donovan Wilson and J-Ron Kearse, they do a great job of containment. And here's the situation. Cowboy Nation. When Cook last year, what my dog is saying, Broaders, he like to start inside and bounce it to the outside. and it's all by himself. Even if it's through the A or B gap, he's shifty and he can run. That's the isolation for it to be a great impact play by our safety. But what we can't do is allow Cook to get into us. We got to initiate, right? So for those who play fourth side, hey, for sure. And I'm not saying that last year will be replicated for this year, Cowboy Nation, but I can tell you that the mentality of Donovan Wilson is still here. And when you jump out, and he square his shoulders and it's all by himself, I'm believing that the ramification from last year, thinking that this brother, I thought he wore number 37. Oh, he's wearing number 6 now. And I'm not saying that Cook is one of those guys that will shy away from that, but he will remember that hit. And that is what Donovan Wilson or J-Ron Curse will deliver. They will. And far as Ham, the fullback, the good thing that I like about this particular team, they are not afraid to come down to field. So if the fullback is pulling and if he's the lead blocker, what have you, they'll initiate the contact. I tell people all the time when you're looking at my film assessment, be the aggressor, initiate the contact, get there. Old coach used to say, just get in the way. If all fails, F technique, get in the way. Take on your blocker. Take on him. Get in the way. I better not see you turning sideways, not going full speed. Get in the way.
Sounds like maybe you want more Chauncey Golston at end and more Micah Parsons at linebacker.
Absolutely,
if you ask me, Brian.
You're absolutely right about that. Okay, on that, real quickly on the defensive side of things, you're going to have to deal with Danielle Hunter. He, I think, is their best pass rusher. You're very familiar with Dalvin Tomlinson from the Giants.
Big boy.
Yeah, he is a big body guy. That's the one thing you notice about the Vikings. They are a big team inside, those big defensive linemen.
It's Mike Zimmer, homie.
That is.
Fullbacks and big humans.
Absolutely. So, yeah, keep an eye, like I say, Danielle Hunter, he's going to move around. He's going to play left, right. Eric Kendricks, the linebacker, I think is a really, really good player. Super active running around. I kind of feel like that you can attack these cornerbacks. Xavier Woods, by the way, is the starting safety. Him and Harrison Smith are the starting safeties for the Minnesota Vikings. Brashard Breeland is a guy, he used to be with the Redskins. He came from the Chiefs. They've struggled a little bit at cornerback spot. So if sometimes you can get some protection, you can get the ball. There were plenty of times where the ball, I remember Cleveland, it was a 3rd and 19, and they run the ball for 20 yards to get a first down right before. So there's some tackling issues right there. Harrison Smith, I think, is a good enough cover guy, but he'll bounce off some tackles as well. He's always around the football. So Vikings defensively, I think you can move the ball on them, though you just have to be aware of where number 99 is. He's the guy that can wreck your offensive scheme with his pass rush.
Final verdict, Brian, a win or a loss?
I'm going right now with
win by 40.
I'm going right now. I think the Cowboys can win this game. I do, but I think it's going to be one of those things like Bassick was talking about. How do you play against these receivers? Are they going to be able to make plays? Is it going to turn into a shootout? Kirk Cousins, he's capable of putting up yards, not always points. Him and Dak Prescott are going to go head-to-head in this. It's going to be a battle of receivers to see which one of these teams make the most plays. I think the Cowboys can make more than the Vikings can right now.
Let's go. Oh, my gosh, man. Broadus. Shout out to him, man. Great interview, by the way. He didn't give the score, and he kind of squeezed everyone out just like a politician would. For the direct access to that video, click that link. I just put it in the box there, and be sure to check that out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the phone lines for a couple of minutes here. Really appreciate everybody. Let me load this thing up. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go, baby. Yo. There we go. There ain't no party like a cowboy party. Yeah. Hotline for your mind, 657-390-7391 is the hotline, Wednesday line. We will also do the call-in for Friday, prediction day. But if you want to call in today, 657-390-7391. 91. I like the 91. Let's go. We can have the conversational piece about red zone efficiency or just your questions in general. Really appreciate each and every last one of you all. Jack Henney, he says, Law, give us the run around. Let's party at Delusional Island this week. Huh? Jack Henney, are you talking about Hennessy? Well, shout out to you. Shout out to you, Gina. That's the number right there for everybody. Let me do this. Bam. That's the hotline for your mind. Come on. Going once, going twice, 3 times a lady. If nobody want to call in, that's okay. All it takes is one person to call in. I was just about to hang it up. I said, good grief, nobody want to call in today. 817, you're live.
Hey, Long Nation.
Talk to me. What's going on with you?
Just want to say, let's go Cowboys and speak to these Vikings.
Yeah, let's get them.
I don't know the deal. I don't know the deal. What it is with still starting on Collins, but I don't think that they should do that.
Right.
They need to put the better tackle in, and Collins is way better than Steele. And he's more of a dog. He's more your dog than Steele will be.
You said Collins more of a dog than Steele.
Yeah. Collins is way more of a dog than Steele.
But what they're looking at is how can they move Connor Williams and Tyler Biotis. Those are the things where they have an issue with.
Yeah, I know. Our weakest point's been our center so far, and I think they're trying to find a way to improve the center position.
No doubt.
But I'm ready to. We're getting those getting reinforcements for our defense. I'm ready to see that. So we're gonna have our defense gonna be real nasty. I see a big blowout for the Cowboys. I see a 42-17.
42-17. I appreciate you so much for calling in. Is this Jason?
Yes, it is.
Appreciate you so much for calling in, Jason. Thank you so much. I think that this is the situation and scenario, and I could be 1,000,000% wrong. They're not looking at it like Collins versus Steele. They're looking at it like probably is Collins better than Connor Williams, and that is what they're looking at. And then also they're looking at probably is Connor Williams better than Tyler Biotis, or is Connor McGovern better than Connor Williams or Tyler Biotis. So that's how they're looking at it. The next conversation for the line, spit your mind. We have Lady Jessica in the house. You live.
Hey, Law Nation. Hey, everybody.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm here to say this. Dallas ain't laying down for the Vikings.
Right.
Just like they didn't lay down for Tampa Bay. Just like they didn't lay down for the Carolina Panthers. Just like they didn't lay down for the Patriots and the Vegans. They ain't finna lay down for the Vikings. And I'm so sick and tired of some of these fans come out, oh, they scared this, they scared that. Listen here. Our players are all going to eat. I say this all the time. Those that are coming back are not going to be counted out. They hungry and they ready to eat too. These young men, not kids. These young men are all brothers. They are a family. Ain't nobody got no big eyes and little U's. They all playing together as a team, as brothers. They all are sharing the ball on both sides of the field. Defense and offense are working as one, as a whole team. One team, one sound, working together as one. Stop counting people out. Stop tripping on who's going to start. Stop polling and trolling and saying, I want this one to start over. Y'all ain't the coaches. The coaches running our team. Just be the fans and be happy and cheer our teams on as they're 5-1. Stop with all of the stupid talk. Yes, we're going to do this and do that. I want to see them all get out there and ball like they are doing. And them that are coming back, Colin, come in and do what he does. Coach said today, as Law played earlier, that who is what is going on. Y'all not listen to what these folks saying out their mouth. Y'all just up here want to argue or want to debate. Stop debating our team. Why can't our team have what other team have? And we be happy with what all we got. You got, like I said, you got a hand, and you got mostly every high spade, and you playing spade. You're not finna play wrong. You got all the aces. Beat the hand. You and your partners got this game. So the Cowboys got this game. So they ain't taking nobody lightly. They ain't sleeping. This ain't no trap game. And I'm sick of hearing that every game. Can we all just get along and cheer for our team and stop with all the debate?
Hey, man, to that lady, Jessica, I know you can put the praises on everybody because when you come on here, I know that I'm finna get a word of encouragement. I know I'm going to get the PVO, and I'm going to know I'm going to get the good spirit from your mind, to your mouth, to all ears. Everybody can understand that you spit nothing but passion and raw truth, and we love it. We absolutely do.
Love y'all too. I just want our team to go and whoop the Vikings, and they're gonna win.
Let's go. We definitely gonna do that. Shout out to Lady Jessica. PVO. Y'all put PVO in the chat. I'm gonna have to find a customized sound bite for her, for real. All right. So the next caller, we got the 412. You live.
Hey, what's up, Big Law? That's Wes. I'm from out here by Pittsburgh, man. I've been a Cowboy fan forever, man.
Shout out to you, Wes, man. Let me put you in here, man. Wes, what's good, man? What you got for this episode, Wes?
Hey, man, listen, this season feels different, boy. Like everybody been saying, like the 90s and all that, man. Like, you know, the last couple of years, like these calls ain't been going our way in these type of games. Like we played New England and all that. You know what I'm saying? But it seemed like the ball flipping our way this year.
Facts.
Defense getting them turnovers. These young boys out there trying to ball. Like, I know they're young. I know they got us ranked down the bottom of the barrel still with this D. But all these turnovers, fam. Like, come on now, man. These boys doing their thing.
Mm-hmm. We are. We are definitely doing that. Turnovers, forcing the team to think too. Forcing them.
And the cavalry on its way too. Like we still got guys that got to come back, guys that's coming off injuries and all that. But I just feel like, man, it might be a close game in Minnesota because it's cold, and it looked like them boys ain't want to play in the cold when they went down to New England. But Kirk Cousins, man. Diggs got about 2 or 3 coming. If he try to throw his way.
You do know, Wes, that they are playing inside, right?
Well, yeah. Then I mean,
yeah.
Like I said, Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
So that's 3 picks right there. If he want to throw at Diggs,
yeah.
You know?
yeah. You're right on that one, Wes, man. I appreciate you for calling in, though, Chief.
All right, now, bro, you take it easy. I listen to you all the time. I be trying to catch you on the chat sometimes, but, you know, I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate what you're doing, man. Keep going, all right?
Thank you, man. You're a real one. Yeah, I love that. My guy Wes from Pittsburgh. Good caller, by the way. Yeah. 901, you live.
Hey, Law Nation, 901 Memphis, representing those Cowboys here in Memphis.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Yes, we blue and gray Memphis. That's what we are, blue and gray Memphis.
Yeah. My Jackson State went up there, man, and I think we played one of those Memphis teams, and we gave them a butt whooping up that way, you know. But it is what it is.
Sometimes you got to get those, you know.
Yeah.
Even as a Cowboy fan, we took our butt whipping for years. Now it's time for us to issue them out now. We got our strap out now as Cowboy fans. You know, we're doing our thing, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm so excited because the reason I'm so excited, man, our defense is doing things that hadn't been done in a while. And like the man said, the caller before, we got help on the way, so it's going to even get better. We get DeMarcus back, man. Can you see?
Oh, I can see.
When we get Hill back, Christian, man, we oh my God, man, I'm like Micah Irvin said on the Stephen A. Smith show. I'm about to buy Super Bowl tickets. That's how excited I am.
You got to get them now. You got to go get them now.
Cowboys in the house, baby. Rock Cowboys.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate you, man, for your love and adulation for this station, man. Thank you, man. It's a good call from him. All right. We got Tyreek. What's good? You live.
Yeah, what's good, Lord? Cowboy Nation. How y'all doing tonight?
We all good over here, man. What you got for this one?
What I got to say for this one, man, it's kind of hard, you know what I'm saying, on some benching steals for Collins. But even though I do like Collins a lot, you know what I mean, I respect what he do over there.
Right.
You know, he does need to be put in timeout just for a little while. And my thing is, too, is like, I still kind of secretly think that they might put him at left guard if Connor Williams can't hold up his end of the bargain. I really believe like he might get put over there, and if he got put over there, I wouldn't be mad about it, especially if it's an upgrade.
Right.
And even though we all know that he hasn't played that position in a couple years, but at the same time too, you know how to ride a bike. You always gonna know how to ride a bike. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, he might, and you never know what these coaches got up their sleeve. So you know, I'm just ready to see what's gonna happen. Minnesota is gonna be a pretty good game because I think that they're built kind of similar to us in their own way. You know what I mean? This was similar. They're kind of similar.
Right.
It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good game, and you know, if we win by 3, I'm cool. If we blow them out, I'm cool. I don't care if we win by 1. I just want to win.
Man, a win is a win. I'm gonna say a win is a win. You know, we'll figure it out on the other end. A lot of people was thinking that we should have won with multiple touchdowns against the Chargers. I was like, no, a win is a win. as long as it's a W at the end, a win is a win. I don't care. But the Vikings, they're a sneaky team. That's what they are. They're a sneaky team.
Yeah, and plus they ran down our throats last year. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, I know for a fact that Dak Prescott didn't appreciate that, how they did us like that. You know, he had to sit on the sideline and watch that. So we got something for this is the reunion tour, and I want Kirk Cousins to get smashed on. They got to rush him. They got to jump in his face, rush Parsons as much as we can, and we need to see some Jabril Cox out here.
No doubt, man.
That's what I'm waiting for.
No doubt, Tariq. I appreciate you so much for calling in, fam.
Thank you, sir. You have a good rest of your night. Cowboy Nation, stand up.
Yes, indeed. Good call from him. All right, so I got my guy, my dog, JD, in the house, man. The Troy Aikman Whisperer. What's going on with you, JD?
What's up, Law?
Nothing to it, man. Talk to me.
I think they should just get pressure up the middle. Kirk Cousins will lose it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing. I think we should go after Woods. He's right there. Go after him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's attack him.
Yeah.
Let's attack him. Let's see what he could do.
Bounce the ball to the outside and run right at him, right? Run right at him. Because he was running away from the tackles when they did that when he was on our team when the Cleveland Browns, when it was time to tackle. And I was like, yeah.
Yep. Let's attack him 70%. Let's see what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the weakest link on Minnesota. That's the only thing. Or let's go after Cousins.
Oh yeah.
Be with Washington.
Facts.
Like okay, you remember the hit with Mac Jones, Gregory.
Right.
Let him hit him.
Mm-hmm.
Cousins will be on his ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say this. My score will be 42-21. Cowboys win.
If that happened, I got something special for you, JD. 42-20, 20-21?
21.
42-21. I don't even have to write that down. That number just sticks out to me. So 42-21. JD, I got something very special for you if that happens. I really appreciate you for calling in to the network.
You're welcome, Law. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Yeah. Good call from him. 601. You're live.
What's going on, Law?
Nothing to it, man. I love when I see that number. You know, that's Mississippi number.
Man. That's the Cowboy love. Cowboy love, man. Cowboy love all the way from the silk, bro.
Mm-hmm. What you
man,
got?
I just called in, man. Let everybody know, Cowboy Nation, man. This is a different team, bro. I mean, this team is playing with swagger, and we playing with this attitude that if you don't give it to us, we're gonna take it. It's no reason. Yeah, we're going to take it. It's no reason for Cowboy Nation to be scared, to be fearful or fretful of anything, because that statement that they say about us, man, we them boys, man. Mm-hmm. We playing with a whole different, we out of this world, bro.
Facts.
And, so everybody calm down, sit back, get your popcorn, and watch the show, man, because we're going to do this.
Yeah, I'm ordering my popcorn now. When I watch the game live play by play, I'm gonna try to do that. It's gonna be wonderful, man. So I can't wait to see you this weekend. Jumping inside the chat log there if available, and let's go get this dub, man. You got any score prediction before I let you go?
I believe we're gonna beat them. Probably, I say we'll probably put up over 40 burger.
Wow. Okay. What they gonna do?
We'll probably give them 21. No less than 21. We'll give them 21.
Okay.
We'll spot them 21.
Oh, okay. So back-to-back callers, 40-21. So I think he said 42-21. So I'm gonna give you the same gift, man. If that happened, I got something waiting for you, man. Appreciate you for calling in, fam.
Sir.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, Cowboy Nation, stand up.
Yeah, stand up. Stand up. All right, Cowboy Nation. He was the last one in there. It was all the queue. So I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shout out to Lady Jessica when she came in and blessed the mic today. I really appreciate her. We was all doing our game. We were doing our game day praises right there, But it's one of those things, Cowboy Nation, that we ourselves just got to stay locked in and focus in on this situation. We do. It's team. It's different. I get it. A lot of people think that it's the same team, but it's not. It's not. It's not the same team. I'm looking for my outro music. Y'all like that new outro music, by the way? The piano, and then it goes into the phases, or do y'all like the other one? Y'all let me know. But I kind of like this one because it kind of builds up that mindset, right? It builds up everything for the conversation to be nice. And I really appreciate everybody who called in. Thank those who gave the donations. Thank those who subscribed. We got to blow through this subscription. 66,000 on the YouTube. I got to get out of 66. That's 66. It does something weird to me. But shout out to 66 because that's Conor McGovern's number, right? Right? So we got to get away from that number, But shout out to everybody, especially those on my Facebook as well. I see you guys there. Shout out to all of you guys that have been delivering the stars. I really appreciate that. But write this down, Cowboy Nation, and be sure to understand this. When you're up against the struggles, meet it squarely face to face, lift your chin, set your shoulders, plant your feet and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fall. Oh my goodness, you may fall. And I failed many of times. You may conquer. See it through. Black may be the clouds about you and your future may seem grim. But don't let your nerve desert you. Keep yourself in fight and trim. If worse is bound to happen, in spite of all that you do, remember this. Running from it will not save you. See this thing through. Keep your mindset. Keep your eyes high. Know this. You're not the only one that's going through it. There's others who've been through it. Legends. Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach, Michael, the playmaker, Irvin, Deion Prime. Yeah, they faced it too. I come here to tell everybody that's in here, oh, yes, you can face it too. Keep your head high, eyes through the finish. See this thing through, Cowboy Nation. Stay pumped up and ready. Stay locked loaded. As my dog J. Ron Kerr said, lock in. Get in formation. I know that people think that this is a game. No. This is war. Yeah, gotta treat it like that from a mental mindset. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's get on up out of here. This will be brought to you by Graphic Zone HD. Time to roll credits, baby. Let's go. I thank you guys so much for allowing me to speak my mind into your eardrums. Let's go. Yeah.
Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on, blinking, she icy. Freeze, photo, please, no photos, no, G's, no, please.
Oh, Diggs, let him get an INT. I'm gonna go crazy. Shout out to you, Katie. Shout out to you, Bobby.
If you're down in my management, I'm just warming up a way to lie. Old producers saw the numbers one. Different colors in my baggy light. Chalk it up, talk of the town where you're talking up. Wanna get you a ring and you tough enough. Wanna get you new things when your pockets down.
Phone lines wasn't good this week.
I used to be quiet and out of love.
Apologize.
Now I move up and move humble cause.
Let me know if y'all couldn't hear the call. Shout out to you, CeeLo.
Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on, blinking, she icy. Freeze, photo, please, no photos, no, G's, no, please, no photos. I keep giving game away. I put game on layaway.
Nation.
I got paid
Shout out to you, Cam. Thank you for the donation. Shout out to you, Washington. Thank you so much.
I might make it rain today. I got paid off pain today. Thought it'd take the pain away. In my own lane, finger roll. I would never sell my only soul. Heard your whole team was for sale. Heard it's on the market for the low. Who the realest, we might never know.
Come on, it's long. Y'all know it.
Give you the world when they sign you up. Try you out and then they line you up. Ooh. Now you're looking hungry, ribs are touching, need some food. Now you're all on live acting surprised, but you was fooled. Boy, get out the way, it's been a day, now you're old news. Now you got the pen and I ran up a check, I might do it again.
If you're watching all the way to this point and you have not hit that like button,
to the end, crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I've been waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, it's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up.
If you don't like the nation at this point, if you still here,
I'm just doing me, everything is on me. No matter what, add it up. Bankroll, euro, peso, add it up.
You think we gonna lose this weekend? Come on.
If it's on me, everything is on me. Going back.
Let's go, Cowboy Nation.
Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up.
All right, JC, I'll see if we can fix that phone line, you know. So the phone line, look, I always love feedback. I try to read everybody comment at the end. JC says, yeah, the phone line was underwater, like robots. Okay. I'm going to have to write a letter to the phone company on that one. Appreciate you, Terrell. Bigelow. Words and adulations, love and adulations goes a long way, and I really appreciate you. Goes a long way. Come on. My dog's it. Hey. Y'all should have told me to tell the phone line to lean forward a little bit. Gonna fix those phone lines though. Let's go. Shout out to you, Gina. Don't forget, score prediction will be actually on Friday. Yeah, it'll be on Friday. But we're gonna slow it down a little earlier. Appreciate everybody. Come on, slow it down. Really appreciate you guys. Look, this is for all of the haters, though. You know, this is for all the haters. Before we do that, let's just do this. Let's do this. Mayday. Rest in peace.
That was easy.
Come on. Kick it back up, baby. Hey. Oh, yeah. Let's go. Hey. Oh, yeah. Let's go. I hope you're rocking with me like CeeDee Lamb.
Take a drag of my cigarette. Breathe me out. Breathe you in.
Hey. We rock it, baby. Come on. It's me walking through the pro shop. Don't let the street lights hit you all alone. You know it's dangerous to go alone. Come on. Don't let the street lights hit you. Can I be your player too? Come on, y'all follow the nation. Have a blessed day. Appreciate each and every last one of you all. Pay attention to what KD said. He put the train, and he got the takeaway there. And the train again. That's the takeaway train. And another one. And another one. Yeah. I'll show y'all some cover 3 defense. That's what we're going to be running. Cover 3. You see me? Hit you all alone. Come on, come on. You know it's danger, baby. It is. Don't let the street lights hit you. Can I be your player too? Shout out to you, Nick. Rich. Shout out to you, Troy. James. I see you. Let's go. If a paper crane can fly, yin yang. Don't judge. One love. I love it. So far, so far. Brady is the goats of goats. Shout out to him. Then forever doesn't feel that far. Stephen White. Salute. So far, so far. If a baby great. Shout out to you, Lady Jessica. Fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on. Paul, you're a real one. Until next time. We out.
You have to be your biggest fan.
Good night, y'all.
When things are really tough and they're really
From
rough
Bigelow.
and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that.
Watch how that beat come back in, though. Yeah. Hey. Write this down. Write this down. If you already don't have it in your memory. When the end comes for me, let it find me conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one.